Welcome back to the Step It Up Entrepreneur Podcast. Your host, Tomas Keenan, coming at you guys today from the good old home office. And man, I've been on a terrible recording streak lately, and I have to apologize to my team. I've been putting them on the spot, and they've still been showing up and getting things done. So for those of you who are listening, as you're editing and recording this, my team knows who they are, especially my man Aris. Caitlin, Tim, you guys, thank you so much for all the help and hard work you guys put into editing this podcast each week and producing it and kicking it out and putting all the social media content behind it. I just want to take a minute and say thank you so very much. But the last I think this is the fourth week in a row, I have dropped the ball. I've gotten out of my routine. And I typically, just so you guys understand, like how the production side of the podcast works, I'm typically back here booking shows, booking guests. Like I've built out a whole podcast production pipeline inside of my high level account. And I keep really good track of guests who want to be on the show and approved versus decline and who's set up for what dates. And I started having not so many approvals come through. So a lot of people have been applying to be on the podcast. And honestly, I've declined a bunch of them because I didn't feel that they were just the right fit to be a guest on the show. And since I declined so many damn people, it's almost as if the podcast agencies kind of slowed down with what they were pushing my way. And Aris, who does the audio production on the podcast here, hits me up a couple weeks ago. Was like, "Hey man, you got an episode ready or what?" And I was like, "Oh, no, I do not, sir." And I had to get busy kind of last minute. And it's kind of funny, and there's some lessons that can be applied here, but it's like things are cyclical in our lives. Right? Seasons, business, relationships, energy, exercise, food or diet, like alcohol consumption, right? All that kind of stuff. I from my experience as a grown-ass adult at this point in time, everything follows a cycle. And right now, this is not the first time this has happened in my podcast career, my podcasting career. I'm in a cycle right now where I don't have any shows in the bank. And I typically have 3, 4, 5, 6, sometimes more shows in what we call the podcast bank, which means these shows have been recorded, they need to be produced, and they need to be uploaded, and they need to be made live, for the next week that's up and coming. So I want to apologize to my crew, and also at the same point in time say thank you very, very much. I'm grateful for what you're doing and all the help you put in here. I'm hoping that this is going to be the last recording that is last minute. So with all that being said, there's been some craziness going on here in my life, which is, not too abnormal. This past year, new relationship, 7 kids at home, 3 of them are mine, and they're here 50% of the time. But regardless, no matter what, there's always 4 kids at the house, sometimes 7 plus the adults. So we have every other week, there's 9 living mouths here in this home. And I'm grateful for it. It's chaos, but it's also amazing and beautiful at the same time. And I've learned a lot through it. It's one of those things where it forces you to step up. Like you have to show up and do more. And I knew that going into the relationship too, which is cool. But with that being said, it's been nuts here for the last couple of days. Not so much because this is a week where I have all my kids here too. So yeah, it adds a little bit more commotion and whatnot. My kids go to school. The other 4 are homeschooled here. So we got 3 in school, 4 in homeschool. So when my kids come here, I'm up early in the morning. I'm taking them to school, getting them ready. Lunch is made, all that kind of stuff. And it's getting nice here. It's the end of the school year for the kids here in Texas. They've got May 22nd is the final day. So we're, tomorrow's May 1st. At the time of recording this right now. So, we got 22 days left, not even 22 days if you want to count weekends, for them to be here in school. So they're kind of itching to be done. So they've been going out in the yard at night. I mean, it was 83, 84, 85 degrees here in Texas the last couple of days. So the kids been going in the backyard and setting up like the slip and slide and the kiddie pools and whatnot and sliding around and getting wet and doing all that stuff. So they've been up a little bit later than normal. Through all of this, we've got soccer practice for one kid. I've got another kid who came home sick today from school. Kind of threw a monkey wrench into my program, but grateful. I dropped my kids off at school. I went to the gym, which is not too far away from where I'm dropping them off at school. And my ex-wife called me, and she's like, "Hey, Thomas is he's got to come home from school." Like, here's the deal. Like, all right, man, it's no big deal. He's fine. Nothing crazy. Just she's got to come home. Got to go to the doctor. He's got to get a doctor's note to come in. And I'm just so grateful and so fortunate that I've built a lifestyle. I've built a business that allows me to pivot last minute and make these changes and show up for those who truly matter, which in my case, my opinion, is my children. And so I basically had to leave the gym today, buzz over, the 6 or 7 minute drive, whatever it was, from the gym to the school, pick them up, set a doctor's appointment. The hiccup here today was the doctor's appointment was at 1:45 p.m. Central, and every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. Central, I host a live coaching call for my group coach, my group. I call it my level 1 training, right? So these are clients who come in and they're paying us $1,500 a month to come in and work with us at Step It Up Academy, and they get access to everything we have on the back end. Plus, we have these live calls on a weekly basis, and it's cool, right? I really enjoy doing it. And I had to basically bang into my people today and say, hey guys, I hate to do this to you. I hate to pivot last minute, but I've got to reschedule today's call and move it to Wednesday. Again, I'm grateful that I have the ability to do this. And this is also the importance, there's lessons to be learned here. I show up consistently every damn Tuesday to that call at 1:30, come hell high water for the most part. And today I had a circumstance that was outside of my control. And let's be real, my son, Thomas, to me, and by the way, we call him Medium Thomas because he's 7 years old and enormous. Thanks, Mark Z, for that nickname. My son is more important to me than my business ever will be, right? Flat out. So I basically hit my people for this level 1 group coaching call today and said, hey guys, I hate to break this to you, but I'm not gonna be able to make it. I'm gonna pivot. I'm gonna move the call to Wednesday at the same time. So no big deal. People can handle that. And if they miss the call, they get a recording of it anyway, which is one of the beauties of the platform that we use and the way that we've set things up on the back end from a process and procedure standpoint. So once again, grateful for just having the ability, but was able to really spend some cool quality time with my son today. He came home sick, but he wasn't physically sick. I'll cut the bullshit here. The poor kid came home with pink eye, right? He went to some little kiddie center a couple days ago and probably jumped in the ball pit and popped out with some fecal matter in his eyeball or some crap, literally, pun intended. So he was feeling fine. Just, they couldn't keep him in school because, until you get meds in, that it's highly contagious for at least 24 hours after you start taking the eye drops and whatnot. So I made the appointment, took him to the doctor. We went to the doctor, in and out of there real quickly. And at that point, Medium Thomas is hungry and I'm hungry too, which, the two of us, we like to eat. So we head out, we go to a place, we get some chicken. My dude loves some like chicken fingers and that kind of food, and just being a young boy. So we'll get him some chicken fingers, some French fries, and we're just sitting down, having a good conversation, eating some food. And I love when the little man just asked me questions, and he was asking questions like crazy. And that to me is how we connect. So I was able to pivot, spend time with Junior, answer his questions, spend real quality time with him and not be interrupted or not worry about my business falling apart in the back end. And from there, we ate lunch, and then we had to go to the pharmacy, which is also the food store by us. And we picked up some food and stuff for tonight. And the medicine and stuff, the eye drops that he needed. We came back home, and then, he spent some more time here with the kids at home and just had a blast. So all this happens. I got to repivot my whole schedule and whatnot. Next week, Catherine and I are flying to New York to go see my mom, spend a couple of days with my mom. We're also going to meet her dad up there and spend a couple of days with him and his wife, which is pretty cool. And, I like to get a haircut before I go on like a trip, a vacation, or, a speaking engagement, whatever it may be, an event that I'm hosting. I like to come in and look sharp. So I hit up my barber. And I've been using this dude for since I moved here, pretty much about 4 years at this point. And Ruben's awesome. He's just a great, solid dude. And I had a past client who introduced me to him when I moved down here. But Ruben comes to my house. So Ruben comes to my house, and he's dialing me in, getting me. I'm sorry. Let me backtrack in the story here. Ruben was set to come next Tuesday at 4 p.m. This Tuesday, where all this chaos is going on, I just walked in the door from taking Thomas to lunch and going to the food store and picking up his medicine. I'm like laying him down on the couch, getting ready to put eye drops in his eyes for his pink eye. And the doorbell rings, and I'm like, man, who the hell is ringing my damn door at this point in time? And I'm thinking it's probably another storm chaser or roofer crew who's coming in here, ringing the doorbells because we got hit with a storm a couple weeks ago. And I get up, go open the door, and it's Ruben, my barber. And I'm like, oh, shit. Ruben got the dates mixed up, and he's here now. And like, the dude showed up. He drove here. I'm not going to tell him to leave. Like, all right, you know what? I actually can make this work. This is my ability to pivot. Let's get you set up and going right now. Ruben, give me 5 minutes. I wasn't prepped for you. It's not a big deal that we got our dates mixed up, but let me get things moving here. I got him set up in the master bathroom. Got medium Thomas in there, get his haircut going, then got mine. So today was just absolute craziness. And here I am. It's now 7:16 p.m. I planned on recording this podcast when I got home from the gym earlier this morning, which would have been about, 8:30, 9 o'clock ish. And that never happened because, my monkey wrench was thrown into my schedule, and that happened repeatedly today. So, some of these things that I'm sharing here with you, this is not a bitching session. This is not oh, look at me, I'm cool, I got a barber comes to my house. Like, these are things and systems and processes and things that I've built into my personal life and my business that allow me to pivot and show up for those who truly matter. And I tell you this not to impress any of you who are listening right now, but to impress upon you the significance and the importance of taking care of those who truly matter. And if you truly care, you will build a system within your business that allows you to do certain things like this, right? Or you're going to wind up putting people in place who can fill your shoes when you can't be there, right? Those are basically your two alternatives. I'm at a point in time in my career now where I don't want a big team any longer. I've done that before. I've had teams of 25, 30 plus multiple times in my career. I don't want the headache and the stress of running payroll and keeping all those people going and the whole 9 yards. Like, I want my team and my squad small. I want them agile. I want them nimble. I want us to be able to make quick moves and decisions, right? Rapid. And it's just another reinforcement, another lesson coming in from the universe saying, this is why you don't have a business that requires you to XYZ, be there, retail store, customer service-based business. And I'm not knocking any of those, because if you're in that space, awesome. I spent a lot of time there previously in my career. And now I'm in a season of my life where I intentionally have stayed away from those business models because of the importance of my kids, the importance of my family, the importance of me not having the added weight, stress, and pressure of ensuring that everyone's payroll is in on time, right? And then any of you who are listening to this who run businesses that have big payroll, like, you understand what I'm talking about. So I tell you all this, like I said, not to impress you, but to impress upon you the importance of making some of these decisions, putting some of these changes in your life. What are some of the things that you can pick up from what I'm doing in my personal and business life that can be implemented to help improve your overall business and or life? Right? That's the question I have here for you today, and I want to pose. And I'm going to come in here the last couple minutes of this podcast here, and I'm actually going to start talking about the services that I offer and sell. I'm going to pitch the shit out of you. And for those of you who've been here and listening for a while, you know that I don't do this, right? My podcast is not a platform where I come in and I pitch Step It Up Academy. I don't come in here and pitch, oh, book me for a speaking engagement. Oh, come spend $10,000 with me so I can do a 2-day on-site assessment at your facility with your team. Right? I don't come in here and pitch those services, right? My intention, and I've always leveraged this podcast platform as a place for me to come in here and be true, be authentic, show up and give and provide as much value as I possibly can, either through myself, my words, like I'm giving you here now in this solo episode, or when I invite a guest on who has an expertise or experience in a certain area of life or business that I don't, right? So I've never leveraged this tool as a sales tool or an ability for me to come in here and pitch all my products and services to you, right? And that goes back to the lesson before about showing up consistently. Me showing up for my level 1 clients consistently over and over and over and over and over again. And when I told them today, hey, I cannot show up because of this situation in my life, it wasn't a big deal, because I don't go there and ask for it every other week, right? So consistency pays off, and that is such a valuable lesson. And honestly, I think I started to really learn that lesson my first time completing 75 hard. And now I've done it, I've talked about it here a lot, but 3 rounds of 75 hard plus a bunch of different phases, phase 1, phase 2 kind of thing in between. So I'll leave you with that there. Moving on here, as far as services, right? So last week, if you listen to last week's episode, I came in here and I talked heavily about this hiring webinar, right? Hiring mastery webinar that we were hosting, and we hosted it last Tuesday, last Wednesday. Had a whole bunch of people register, a bunch of people showed up, and I dove in deep on the back end and showed people my exact process for hiring. Showed them the tools that I use from a software perspective. I built a badass slide deck and showed people, slides, and started talking about a lot of things that are necessary to implement into your business in order to get really good at hiring. And it went really well. So if you registered for that webinar, whether you attended or not is irrelevant. I sent all of you an email, and in that email, I attached or included the replay from the recording itself. And a lot of guys don't do that. And my intention here, the whole purpose that I started Step It Up Academy is to, my timer's going off, is to help others succeed in business. So I want to be able to do that here with you guys too. So this new product, this new offering we got here, Step It Up, I want to talk about this for a second, right? And I found a gap, right? So most of the stuff that I offer right now is high ticket. Okay. So my products and the coaching and the group stuff that we offer starts at $1,500 a month, and it goes on up from there. Right. So we've got $1,500 a month for this one. We got $2,500 a month for a different one. We've got $3,500 a month for another package. We got $5,500 a month for another one. And then we've got the on-site assessments, which is where I actually come to your facility and spend a couple of days with you and your team. Right. Those start at $10K, and I've done well with them. Like, we keep busy. I cash flow. My business is doing well. We're making money. Awesome. But I found a gap in the marketplace. And I said, all right, well, you know what? There's a lot of businesses who may not be able to afford $1,500 per month. Like, listen, $1,500 a month, depending upon where you're at in your financial journey, it could either be that's nothing or, oh, wow, that's a lot of money. So looking into the marketplace and kind of asking some questions and seeing what's missing and having some, I got 2 years of experience now doing this full time for myself within Step It Up Academy. Not doing it under someone else's umbrella. I'm not in BFA anymore. I mean, I spent 2+ years over there as a COO, and I learned a lot. But when I left there, it was Step It Up Academy full time and exclusively. So I came out of the gate with my group, my one-on-one coaching, my fractional COO, and my on-sites. And there's a big need in the marketplace right now for people who need help with I don't even necessarily want to call it basics, but I'm going to call it the foundational shit you need to put into place in order to grow your business, in order to stabilize your business, in order to set your business up and build that structure, that foundation that will enable you to grow and scale and add on to it without basically having, a house of cards that crumbles. So we came up with the Step It Up Academy startup community, and it's pretty cool. I'm going to hit you with the price first, right? You got 2 options. You can pay it in full for 1 year. It's $3K, right? One-time payment. You pay for the year. You got 12 months access to this, and I'll tell you what's included in a minute. Option 2, the other way you pay for this is you pay $279 a month for 12 months. You do the math, it's like $3,300 and change versus you paying $3,000 upfront one fee. So either way, we're good. If you want to pay us upfront, you're going to save yourself a couple $100. If not, we basically, if you want to consider it, there's a small finance fee in there if you want to pay monthly. Okay, that's basically what it comes down to, right? In this program, though, we're specializing and focusing on a couple of things, right? We have 3 specific phases of this. We got phase 1, which is foundation building. Phase 2, process implementation. Phase 3 is your mastery and scaling. So let's talk about them briefly. Phase 1, foundation building. This is where we're going in here, and we're helping you implement core values, mission, purpose. We're figuring out what your worth per hour is. Like, where are you spending? And this includes a time study. Where are you spending your time? How much are you worth per hour? How much are you bringing into the company? What can get delegated off your plate? What systems and processes can we start to develop and actually document that are going to then become something where we can automate and maybe replace you or a portion of you to make the business overall more efficient, right? Phase two, process implementation. That's when we take this data and this structure that we've built in the foundation phase and we start to build out processes, right? And every business needs a couple of basic processes. I don't care what it is you do, right? You need something for marketing, right? So this is email, SMS, landing pages, lead capture, websites, that kind of stuff. And like, I'm not the guy to go build your website. Don't take it that way. Okay. But I have a ton of experience when it comes to implementing a CRM. And there's so many small business owners out there right now who don't even know what CRM stands for. Customer relationship management software. If you don't have one, you need one. Okay. We're going to show you how to go out there and get these things implemented in this process implementation stage of the Step It Up Academy startup community. We're going to talk about the main processes that you need. So everyone needs sales and marketing. Everyone needs a sales pipeline, right? To keep track of who's a lead and who's not a lead, right? What does the fulfillment process look like after someone actually buys or becomes a client of yours? Like what do you need to do? What's onboarding and fulfillment look like if you're offering a product or a service? All right. So these are all basic processes that every business needs regardless of what you do. And we're going to help you come in here and map them out and then go help you say, all right, this is what you need. Here's the map. This is the roadmap, how to go get it done. Now go build it and start running this machine inside of your own business, right? And like, guys, I'm a high level user. I have been for almost 2 years at this point, and it is powerful software. Okay, you can do a lot in there, and a lot of what I'm going to show people is how to leverage high level, how to go in there and build out these processes so your business is working for you in the back end, even when you're not there working, which is pretty damn cool. Phase three is the mastery and scaling. This is where we dive back in to the processes that have been built. We start expanding upon them. We start dialing them in. We start making them more efficient. We also start saying, oh, well, now that we've had these 3 or 4 main processes in place, we realize there's a gap or a need for another one over here. So let's get this one built to fix this other problem that we now have. And this problem may be holding you back from scaling or making as much money as you potentially need to. That's the overall 30,000 foot view of what's included with the Step It Up Academy startup community. So pretty much this is how we're going to do it, right? If you sign up within the next 30 days of listening to this, I'm going to give you a one-on-one onboarding call with me. And like, honestly, that's a pretty big deal. I'm not gonna bite my tongue on it right now. I used to be humble, Thomas. Like those fucking days are over, right? I charge $2,500 an hour for someone to hop on a call with me. Okay. That's what I'm currently being paid. I can show you the Stripe receipts. Like this is what I get for it. So me getting on a call with you for an hour to dive into your business and give you some insight from a coach's perspective, someone who's been there and done that, the value of that alone is worth more or almost is worth as much as you're going to pay for this program for the entire year. Right. So we got that government. You got the onboarding call with me. We're going to give you access to foundational course that we're going to build as we put this program together. On top of that, you're going to get access to the other 3 courses that we currently have inside of our high-level communities. We've got weekly live sessions with myself and other industry experts that we're going to basically dive in and give you guys some personalized advice and support during those calls. We've got a new membership community inside of High Level. So High Level's released this thing called Communities probably 6-7 months ago, and they're finally getting it really dialed in. And we are actually having this community. We've built it inside of High Level. So in one spot, you can come in, look at your community, interact with people, and it looks very much like a social media platform. And you can view your online courses in the same spot. You can send messages to people on my team, other people who are in the community, right? This is where you build and you network with others who are community members in the effort and attempt to help each other succeed, but also learn and connect with others. And who knows, man, you may become friends with people. You may start doing life and business with people. You know, anytime that I was in the shoes of someone coming into a new mastermind or community like the one I'm talking about here, always gain something from it from a perspective of people, relationships, people added to your Rolodex. So I always had someone, no matter what the business, no matter what the challenge that I was talking to a client about, whatever they were facing, always had someone in my I call it my Rolodex, even though it's my damn iPhone these days. There was always someone in my phone who I could, oh, you know what? I got a guy who can solve your problem. Let me connect you with him. Right. And that's the beauty of networking and getting to know other people at a really good, deep, intrinsic level. Okay. Early bird access and pricing for quarterly meetups and live events. So Step It Up Lives. I usually do a couple of those a year. Any of the Step It Up Academy lives that I run, you will get early bird access and you will get a discount to that ticket as well. I also do quarterly in-person meetups for my level 1, level 2 clients who are my group coaching, my one-to-one coaching, and my fractional COO clients as well. We do quarterly meetups here in Dallas where we dive in for 2 days and go deep into something and basically learn and train and communicate, break bread with each other, get to network in person. I normally keep those closed and locked unless you are a paying member of one of those groups. And with this, we're going to offer discounted tickets to come into that, but you've got to be a member here of the Step It Up startup community. I'm not opening it to general public whatsoever. That's what the Step It Up Academy lives are for. Those are events where we're talking more to the masses or the people who want to come in and show. They don't have to be clients. You got to pay for a ticket. But these quarterly meetups are exclusively for paying clients. And this allows me to give other people who aren't paying the $1,500 a month or more a peek behind the curtain of what we really do here at Step It Up. And that excites me. We've got a bunch of different resources and templates that I have inside, like my Google Drive, for instance, just stuff and documents that I've either created, made, copied, or used or leveraged, over my 20 plus years of being an operator, a small business owner / operator. And I say operator in the sense of integrator. Okay. That's what I'm talking about there. And this is just a really good spot for you to come in and meet others. That's basically the bottom line. So at the end of the day, you want to come in this, you're interested, $279 a month or $3K one-time deal. And man, I got to tell you, I'd love to have you here. If you've been wanting to come in and become a part of the Step It Up Academy community whatsoever, this is the spot. This is your opportunity. I am not keeping prices here at this level for long because I know there's a ton more value in here than what you're going to get for $3K. So if this is something you're interested in, we're going to drop a link to the checkout page in the show notes. And if not, reach out to me on the socials, find me, find the team, Tomas Keenan, on all the main social platforms. If you go to Instagram, you're going to find me at the Integrator Coach. I think I'm that on TikTok too. But most of you are probably connected with me over on Facebook or Instagram already. So if you're ready for this, hit me up, send me a DM. I'm more than happy to have a conversation with you if needed prior, if you have some questions about this. But this is our new offering, our new community. It's starting to take off. We got people back there. It's active. And I really just love the vibe. I love the questions that are coming over because this is where I feel like we have the most impact on people because the same level of quality and service we're providing here is the same kind of stuff that we're providing in our upper echelon communities that we've built. The only difference here is you don't have direct access to me on a daily basis. That's reserved more for the higher level stuff. And because you know what, those people who are paying that money, they deserve it. Right. And their businesses also warrant and require and need some of my expertise one-on-one, more so than the people who are coming into this community. And the beauty is if you come into this community and you're like, hey, you know what, this is great, but I need more of Tom. I need more of someone on the team. I need more expertise in this area. Cool. I'm sure we got something for you too. And it's as simple as you just upgrading to the next level, next platform, and we can help you out as best as possible. So, all right, with that being said, once again, big thank you to the team, the podcast production team here at Step It Up Academy, Step It Up Entrepreneur Podcast. And if you guys are ready to roll, you want to join Step It Up Startup Community, reach out. We'll be more than happy to have you here. Have a great day.
Thank you for tuning in to the Step It Up Entrepreneur Podcast. Make sure you head over to stepitupentrepreneur.com and make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode of the Step It Up Entrepreneur Podcast.